There are several names for millennials: Generation Y, Echo Boomers, the Boomerang Generation, and the Peter Pan Generation because of their need to not grow up. In this speech, I would like to talk on the stigma that millennials have. I would also like to discuss what we can do about that stigma as millennials and what what abilities and what things we do right as millennials. Most of us are labeled as millennials. Not all of us meet the statistics, and yet it's still our label. A millennial itself is someone that was born between 1980 and 2004. As a millennial myself, I've decided to look up different sources to see if society is right about millennials. In one source, I seen Thomas Camaro Permusic of The Guardian on January 24th, 2014 wrote that millennials have been called the most high-maintenance, entitled, and lazy workforce in the history of the world. According to Neil Howell and William Strauss in the book Millennials Rising, The Next Generation 2000, this generation is going to rebel not by doing worse, but by doing better. Their life mission will not be to tear down old institutions that don't work, but to build up new ones that do. See, both of these sources vary quite a bit. One has more of a downward approach to it, where one has more hope. I would like to think that the hopeful one is the true one. In this slide, it shows right here what millennials are interested in. They're interested up here in unique technology, music and pop culture, liberalism and tolerance, intelligence right here, and clothes and fashion. Really, that could describe any generation gap because it seems like more and more the new generation tends to favor those things in some way or another. So when we're talking about this years from now, we'll probably say, well, the next generation will like technology, will like all this stuff more. It's just one of those things that's a natural order. And down here in this little box that you can kind of see, there's a 15, a 34, a 35, and a 15. This 15 right here is the percentage of young men, millennials, that dropped out of high school. This is that finished. This is that got some college. And this is that 15, see, 34, 35, 15, that actually finished their college. This 15%, same for women, 40 for women that actually finished high school, 28 that got some college, and 20 that actually finished and got degrees. So 15 to 20, 15 being the men's percent that actually went on to higher degrees, and 20 of the millennial women that have. 75% of millennials are single. 20% are married, and 10% are separated. Down here, these are their core values and what they would like out of life in general. 52% say they all want to be good parents. 30% say that they want a successful marriage. 21% say they want to help others. 20% say they want to own a home. 15% say that they would like living a religious life. 15% say they would like to have a high-paying career. 9% say they would like to have a lot of free time. 9% or 1% said they want to become famous. With all these statistics, it's hard to tell a lot about millennials because it all seems so shallow and trivial, but to look at each generation differently, you have to ask questions about what they want and what you need as a person so you can group people together. In this next slide, that's what they've done. They've found a way to figure out what millennials like more than baby boomers, and found a way to market to millennials, so they've targeted millennials in this campaign for technology. See right here, they're more likely than baby boomers to use a Mac. They are more likely to data mine, Photoshop, technology in general, own an iPhone, and do file sharing. That's why you'll see more and more articles targeting millennials than you do any other group, because we are more technology conscious by generalization. That doesn't mean that all of us own all these things. That doesn't mean that all of us are likely to. It just means all of us are more technologically inclined, according to the surveys, more than baby boomers. This slide in particular shows the percentage of millennials that are actively looking for jobs, the average years at a job, which millennials have 3 and the baby boomers have 11. Willing to relocate, 83%. Say job is more complex than before, 33. So these statistics really show that baby boomers have a bunch of good qualities, because they are looking for jobs and they are willing to relocate. They're more desperate for jobs, and they're happy to change if they need to, and they're understanding the material down here better. It's just they've not been at jobs as long, maybe because they're younger, maybe they don't have the commitment to it, but I think it's probably because they're younger compared to the baby boomers. To think about all the negative things that millennials see and hear, we have a tendency to ignore it because we just write it off as, well, one generation dismisses another. I think that we are becoming the new generation, so we have to focus on being better than the previous ones. This speech hopefully shows that what society thinks of millennials. It also shows many more positive statistics and what society has got wrong. In the end, it really doesn't matter when you're born, but who you are as a person. And no matter what society says you are, you have to know who you are yourself.